Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Terima kasih kerana bersama kami dalam webinar JPPKK dan kita tengok ini adalah webinar siri kedua yang kita adakan, siri pertama yang kita adakan pada tahun 2021 dan ini adalah track pertama PdPDT dan hari ini bermulalah track pertama. So pada kali ini kita akan melihat pensyarah-pensyarah daripada Politeknik untuk Politeknik pula untuk mereka berkongsi pendapat, best practices, amalan-amalan terbaik, reka cipta yang inovatif untuk PDP ya. Jadi kita seperti mana yang saya kata tadi, kita ada 3 tempat yang mana kita akan pergi melawat. Yang pertama, sesi pertama adalah daripada PIS, sesi kedua adalah PPD dan yang ketiga kita ke Polisas. Okey, jangan tidak melengahkan masa, saya nak perkenalkan kita punya first pair daripada PIS, Puan Noor Azeelia binti Abdul Manan dan juga Puan Noor binti Syahri yang akan share with us semua tools ataupun beberapa tools yang I think they have used seperti Wakelet, Flipgrid, Google Slide, Pear untuk collaborative learning dan juga Padlet untuk build language learning confidence. Jadi yang kedua ni adalah more I think on English ya. Yang pertama ni it is more on it may be for language as well. Dengan tidak buang masa, saya nak beri peluang kepada kedua-dua pensyarah kita yang akan membentang mengenai dengan best practices ini bermula di PIS. First of all, Puan Noor Azeelia, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay. We'd like to have you on the screen now. Is that possible? All right.
Thank you, Doctor. So I'm sharing my screen now. So
Okay. Yep.
okay, right. So thank you, Doctor. Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Okay. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm glad that you all are here with us. Also, I'm not sure whether my director is in, but I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our PS director, Dr. Zubaida, she's in here, and also our TPA, Puan Noor. Thank you for joining us, supporting us. It's really an honor. Okay, so I will be sharing some quick info and actionable tips based on my experience last semester, and I hope that it will also elevate your teaching and learning through online instruction. Okay, so let me just go to my next slide. Okay, I think I need to present this. So as educators navigate the demands of teaching and learning environments for both online learning and on hybrid schedule, we're constantly, I think you realize that we're constantly striving to strengthen student engagement while taking on a considerable amount of time and effort to integrate technology strategically into the lesson. I think that was the challenge for me. It was the ultimate challenge for me. Okay, so before we dive into a quick walkthrough of some of my favorite tech tools that I could say based on my last experience last semester, they have helped me design engaging student-centered learning experiences, and I'd like to take you to what was on my mind actually as we transition to online PNL. So here goes. Okay, I hope you can see it clearly. All right, so yeah, some of my major concerns revolve around the question of how do my students and I, so basically we're actually going to survive the challenging learning environment, particularly to improve student collaboration and cooperation, because I think you know it, I know it, it's not easy to really make sure every student of ours to really engage into the lesson and making sure that they know what to do right? So I think as an intentional educators, as we always strive for, it is crucial to think about how we could first empower student voice and offer them choices so that they will have more opportunities for collaborative work to demonstrate their learning, right? And also, I know that I need to ensure that my students are not merely sharing the product, but the process itself, you see. So you want to know how they accomplish the task, especially now we're doing it through synchronous and asynchronous learning activities. So with that in mind, we go to number 4, all right, fundamentally leveraging student-friendly, device agnostic. I think Mr. Chua did highlight it on making sure that your tools, it has to be techno-comfy. Yeah, you have to be comfortable. As educators, I believe we have to be comfortable with the tools that you plan to use, you wish to use. All right. And also at the end of the day, you need to make sure that the devices are also student friendly and device agnostic, meaning the tools can be used on multiple platforms using multiple devices. Okay. I believe this will help lecturers and educators in providing learning spaces for students to work collaboratively and also showcase what they have learned. So, I was on the lookout for tools which were possibly had, blank canvas vibe, flexible and also customizable in nature. So I needed to find those tools. And of course, I would prefer a free, tool. That's like my favorite price. So you don't need to pay for that, right? So these were my concern really as I was designing my lesson plan. So then I noticed that I kept coming back to using these 4 tools: Wakelet, Flipgrid, Google Slides, and Pear for collaborative work. And I've got to say, these 4 are just awesome. They're great. They're excellent. The first 3 are free, 100% free platform, accessible by multiple devices. Students can get access through their smartphones, not necessarily on laptop, except for Pear, but they do have a great free plan. So it goes together, all right? And these tools offer interesting features that are completely customizable for various collaborative tasks. And I would not profess that I'm a master of all these 4. No, I would say, because I just started using quite extensively last semester. And as a novice user and a fan of simple but powerful tools, I think you educators would find these tools dynamic and flexible to facilitate student collaboration during synchronous and asynchronous instructions. So the first one would definitely be my number 1, Wakelet. Okay, it's 100%. And what is Wakelet? Basically, if you are familiar with Pinterest, where you have all this information from various web pages, you gather into a single location. So Wakelet works similar to Pinterest, except that Wakelet is more robust than Pinterest. And you can gather all these resources in just one place. And that is the primary feature. But of course, as educator, we can be creative. All right, we can sort of design our lesson in such a way we can make use of the space for real-time collaboration. All right. Okay, so that is Wakelet. So if you're curious, you have not heard of it, I think you should just go ahead and Google this up. Okay, and second, Flipgrid. Maybe many of you have heard this, you have used it, or maybe you have heard other people have used it. This is also my favorite. Okay, Flipgrid is actually a video discussion platform. And camera is the heart of Flipgrid. So basically, a student get to video record themselves, and they get to sort of demonstrate their learning and basically give you and submit the recording. So students can cooperate and collaborate with their peers by video record their responses. Students can engage asynchronous video-based discussion. So Flipgrid is mostly suitable for asynchronous activity. But then again, students can actually share their work through Flipgrid. All right, and they can also reflect on learning experiences, asking questions. They can actually comment on their friends' videos and also maybe help their friends solve some question in relation to their task. They can also provide summaries, tell a story. So it is so versatile in such a way. So it's not just a video recording tool. I think when I used Flipgrid, I felt that my student really enjoyed it because they said that they can play around with the filters. Yeah, it does work like Instagram, IGTV, you know, that kind of vibe. But then again, of course, you want to give them prompts, discussion prompts, so that they will be able to respond to your question and video record themselves. Okay, so the third one would be Google Slides and Pear Deck. So later on, I will show you how I did it with my student for all the four, just an excerpt or some samples, all right, just to give you guys the idea. But of course, I think later on, you might want to go and maybe explore yourself. So Google Slide, as we know it, is free. It's a presentation tool, but just last semester, I used Google Slide and Pear Deck extensively online with my student during live session. And it really allows for real-time collaboration. So I didn't want to give my student a PDF worksheet or tasks that, you know, I want them to scan back. No, I don't want things like that. So I want it to be real time. I want it to be, if not real time, you can do it asynchronously, no problem. But of course, the collaboration as they update, you can see as it happened. So I love Google Slides, and you can really be creative, and it's such, it has that blank canvas vibe. You can always create anything, just about anything with Google Slides, really. Pear Deck is an add-on to Google Slides. Actually, it is also an add-on to PowerPoint. Yeah, PowerPoint. But I am using Pear Deck mostly for Google Slides. So this too is my ultimate combo, I would say. So Pear Deck is an add-on. So if you go to your Google Slide, you'll be able to see at the top one of the tabs that says add-on. So you can find Pear Deck there and add into your Google Slides. So what does Pear Deck do, really? If you have questions for your students, right, you want them to respond rather than just asking them verbally. You might want to see whether they actually know whether they would respond to you, because you know it, during live session, not everyone would be responding to you, right? So there'll be just like one or two, or just a few, or maybe none. So that's really unfortunate, but that happens. So with Pear Deck, you can have a question and you can have them respond right there and then. So Pear Deck can be used for asynchronous and synchronous. So I use Pear Deck mostly for synchronous learning during my live session with them. All right, so I hope you get the idea. But the thing is, the thing about Pear Deck, because it's not 100% free, if you add on Pear Deck to Google Slide, they will give you about, I think, 30-day free trial. All right, and sometimes they're nice enough to give you the opportunity to extend the trial. So what I did, because I love Pear Deck so much, but I couldn't afford it. So I will use multiple different emails to just use Pear Deck once my trial ended. So this is okay. We are going to come back to the first one, Wakelet. Okay. So this is what happens before I use Wakelet. So the first one here, what I had in mind, I need a space for collaborative work and other learning activities. Okay. So I had this activity that I need my students to submit their posters, and yeah, their submission, we use Instagram for this actually initially. So of course we set it as private, and the students collaborate in this platform. It was at the time I felt that Instagram was, well, not bad, all right. I mean, it's a social media platform, and student can easily get in and just basically demonstrate their learning and collaborate with each other, and they can comment and all that and have interaction between their peers. And also, I have a student going into Google Drive, and well, they use email storage, WhatsApp, Telegram to collaborate, and also collating other learning resources. So I was using all these platforms, and I'm still using it until now. It's just, except for Instagram though. I felt that at the end of the day, when I want to monitor them, sort of supervise them, facilitate their learning, it was challenging in a way that I can't have them in a place. I can't have them like I mean, easy access for them to just go in anytime, you see. So, and luckily, I stumbled upon Wakelet. So this is Wakelet, okay. But of course, ultimately, because it's free, so I was really interested. So Wakelet, just like what I said, it works like Pinterest. But if you're not familiar with Pinterest, no problem. Okay, but it is a place where you can actually store all of your, let's say, PDF, YouTube videos, files from Google Drive, and Wakelet also accept integration by Flipgrid. So if you have videos on Flipgrid, you can actually access from the Wakelet. And because Wakelet can also be accessed through phone, so students felt that they are given the option, you see, to just come in and collaborate with their peers. So here, students can curate or crowdsource information, create galleries of artwork or media, and share their work in a single location. So one of the tasks that I asked them to do was to submit their poster, one of their assessments. So I wanted them to use Wakelet. So I provide a platform for them. So they submit in Wakelet. And the fact that Wakelet now has this one feature in which I could separate the classes, and it's called spaces. So that really helps me to streamline their submission. And also my students will be able to streamline their own resources as well. And the best thing about Wakelet is that the student, when they collaborate, right, they can only delete their posts. So they will not be able to delete other people's posts. So that's the best thing. And they can actually add text, they can comment to their friends' posts. So I believe that is really awesome for collaborative learning. And a student collaborate on collection. So we call all of this collection, okay, collection of resources without having to create an account. So only what I did was I created the collection under my account. So I gave them the code or the link to the collection. So they just come in and add item and comment and interact. As easy as that. Okay, so these are the things that you could do with your Wakelet. Okay, I'm not going to go in depth because it's just a quick overview, but later on, I hope you can go and explore. Of course, I hope that in next semester, my future, well, I could say I like to explore how I could optimize the tool. Maybe I want to come up with a video playlist, a vocabulary card, responding to discussion prompt. I might be putting out question for them and just respond. Podcasting, maybe I'm not sure. And of course, I think in the beginning of the semester, you might want to just getting to know your students, so you can use this space. So now, on to the second tool, which is Flipgrid. Okay, so this was before Flipgrid. I love student to just, speak and express their opinion, because really it's like I feel that they are being genuine in such a way. So what I did before, I asked them to record themselves, put it on YouTube, and sometimes I need it to be immediate. So I asked them to submit through WhatsApp. And I'm telling you, at the time, it seemed like a great idea to do it in such a way. But then I had problem with, like, for example, YouTube. You need a really stable connection, internet connection, to be able to sort of upload your video. So that took time. And then as for WhatsApp, well, really, when they keep posting videos and it's too heavy, and sometimes I cannot view the videos. And in terms of streamlining their submission and their sort of, their contribution was a bit difficult for me. But I had this in mind. I want them to be able to, basically express their opinion and also encourage student collaboration. And of course, I want to be able to manage their responses and also give them timely and actionable feedback. So when I got to know about Flipgrid, I'm telling you, it's a godsend. The fact that it is also free. Oh yeah, if you want to know, Wakelet and Flipgrid are under Microsoft. So you can use if you have Microsoft account, you can just sign up using your Microsoft account, no problem. And this is how I use Flipgrid. So Flipgrid, again, they give you a space where you can actually create classes, okay, and you provide prompts as your topic, and you give them the link, like this one, week 1. Obviously, I don't know who they are, so I want them to just introduce themselves, telling their name and everything. So video record themselves, and I told them just have fun, no format, and just playing around with the filters. So they really got excited because, well, I'm not sure. Maybe they are so used to looking at the camera. I don't know, but they seem very confident, very confident. And this helped them leading up to their, this is my semester 1 student. So leading up to their last assessment, which was presentation. By the time we had the assessment, they were all, I would say, very confident on camera. Although, yeah, you might think that, okay, everybody will be confident on camera, virtually, but really it poses a different challenge altogether. So they had fun talking, presenting. So I feel that, yeah, it does fulfill the objective in such a way. So future exploration, I would say maybe I want to use it as exit ticket. Because usually what I did with exit ticket reflection, I would just ask them during our live session at the end of the class. Maybe I want to do virtual scavenger hunt. Okay, I hope I have time for that. Responding to discussion prompts, yeah, of course. So if you notice, I have discussion prompt every week 1 until week 14. I just want them to just take the time to speak and express their opinion. I think that's good for them. The fact that you cannot do this during live session, you cannot ask them. It's difficult to ask each one of them because of the limited time, and because the challenge of the synchronous session, in which some of them would not have stable internet connection to sustain and stay in the live session. So this would help the students to really continue and demonstrate their learning, and also collaborate with each other, watching their friends' video and respond. Okay. Also, I wanted maybe reading response in the future, record an ongoing story, virtual vocabulary. So yeah, maybe. Okay. And the thing about Flipgrid, students do not have to have an account, only educators. So that's good. All right, you get to control. And the third one, Google Slides and Pear Deck. Okay, I'm going to explain this side by side because Pear Deck is an add-on to Google Slide. So first of all, how I use my Google Slide for collaborative learning, I will provide them sort of graphic organizers like this. Okay, so I was teaching resume writing, and I want them to identify some errors contained in the resume. So as we were having our live session, I gave them the link to the slide, and each slide is the same, except that I want them to come in and just take one slide and write your name on top and just respond. So I will show all of their responses. So as they do it and they discuss with each other, I will project this on the screen, so they can see what their friends are doing and also what they're doing. So really, this is a real-time collaboration, and it's just I would say a good one at that. And as for Pear Deck, this is what you call, when you add Pear Deck, you'll be able to see this. So Pear Deck, if you have interactive question, I mean, if you have a question and you want to make it interactive, I suggest you use Pear Deck. Although yes, like I said, I mean, you'll be on 30-day trial, but I think it's maybe you don't want to use it every single day. But if I were to be honest with you, I am using it almost every class, every week. I just ask them question. I ask them to sort of respond. They can respond through their phone, really. Without leaving the meeting room, they can actually go to another browser tab and respond. All right. Okay, the last one, I just want to show you how this works. So I had this activity for them on language function for group discussion assessment. So I just give them a question like this, right? So I show them the question on the screen. So on their phone, when they get in, they can just respond right away, and they can also, as they do that, they discuss with each other. So they told me they really like Pear Deck because they can see their responses on the screen, and they like it. And I think you should give it a try, really. I have yet to subscribe to this because it's, well, quite pricey, but I might think of it because I really love Pear Deck. So all these four really help me to just encourage student collaboration and cooperation. And I would recommend that all educators to just give it a try and really explore as you design your lesson. So yeah, okay. Thank you. That will be all from me.
Thank you very much, Puan. That's very interesting. Four types of apps that you can use for your collaborative teaching. And I'd just like you to, my question to you would be this. I think most of us will be asking the same question. What is curation, and how does it help teaching and learning, especially for language? So what is curation?
Okay, if I were to relate to one of the tools, like Wakelet, for example, curation here means, let's say you have resources for your students, all right? So you want it to be structured. So let's say, for example, you use Wakelet for curating vocabulary or language, expression for group discussion. So you will have from at the top until, at the beginning, you will have just language function phrases and expressions. So you curate all that resources. So you give them the link. So when they go in, you can give them prompt and they can actually respond to the collection, curated collection. And you can ask them to just add on to what other expression that you can think of if you want to interrupt a discussion or an interaction. So they can just come in. So curation is based, well, in this case, I would say you have to go back to your objective, what is it that you want the students to do, and what are the resources related to the task. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I will ask you a different, slightly different question. Why is curation important?
I would say it's important because, well, if you were to just give instruction to your students, they may not be able to find their way to certain resources. So, yeah, as educator or as the lecturer in class, you're the captain. You have to pave the way in which, okay, so this is the curated resources that I have for you, but I need you to help me collaborate with your peers. I need you to add on your sort of contribution to the list of resources. So it is important for them to be able to think on their own as well. Student agency, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, so there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, why curation is important, because we live in a world where there is so much information online.
True.
And now it has become the duty of the lecturers to look at these contents and choose and pick the ones that are very relevant to your topics, right? So that is what curation is. The word comes from a curator of a museum.
Yeah.
Right, where you don't put everything in a museum. You go out and you find certain things and certain artifacts and certain documents or whatnot to fit a certain theme, and you bring it to your museum. The same thing goes here. As a lecturer, you need to spend a lot of time in the virtual world to look at all these contents and do a curation of it, so that your students are not lost in that sea of digital information. So thank you very much, President.
You're welcome. Thank you, Doctor.
On showing us how the importance of curation and how you can use curation in a collaborative manner.